Hello. Hi. Welcome back. I am resuming working on the Tall Tales RPG and sorting out the details for the archetype system. If you are not familiar with what this is, um, I write a series of books. The first two are out. I'm currently working on the third, on and off, um, that are paranormal horror and urban fantasy. It's called Tall Tales, and I'm also a GM. That's the bulk of this channel comes about in the tabletop gaming, and so I've taken interest in making a system that would enable people to play in the Tall Tales universe, in the Tall Tales setting that I that the books are set in. So I've been working on that for a little bit now. Um, as you can see, I'm still on the traits tab. Now, the reason I'm still here, I made some decisions about the elemental energies and how they would affect traits, but I haven't written that up yet because I was writing that on stream, so I wanted to resume writing that on stream. But I did make a couple notes, like here's a quick rundown on specialties and augments, kind of the introduction of it, and bonus points that I started writing but I haven't finished yet. Um, I've also made this. This is not complete. This is the beginning of it, basically. But this is essentially, I've started working on the augments that people will get. Now, these are augments are very similar to feats in D&D or advantages in Mutants Masterminds, where they're things you can add to your sheet that will enable you to address the rules in a different way somehow. So, for instance, the base system says that if you do an unskilled check, you roll 1d4 and then add the trait that you're applying to it. Like if you're doing a strength base check and it's unskilled, you roll 1d4 plus your strength plus your ranks in strength. What Jack of all trades does is it turns that 1d4 into a 1d6. You know, um, things like that. So these are basic rules. I already know what Jack of all trades was going to do. I already knew what specialty master was going to do. Oh, rank 10. I have to fix that, I guess. Up here. Ten ranks. And I have ideas for some of the rest of it, but I haven't worked them out yet. I'll do augments probably. I might do this tonight. I might start on those tonight. I'm not sure yet, but I'm taking inspiration from other games for the augments. So I'm looking at other games that already exist, and I'm looking at what types of things they felt were necessary to have as feats or advantages or whatever. I'm looking at those and kind of getting a sense of which of those basic ideas would also apply to Tall Tales and how I would make them work. So, for instance, a bunch of what you're seeing here, the alternate identity, allies, accurate, and some of this, are things that I jotted down as being from a game already. Now, the thing is that I'm not using any language that is. I'm not. I'm not using any copyrighted language. So, animal empathy is just a thing. Like that's not copyrighted language. Obviously, as you can see, it is empty. I haven't written anything in it. I'm not like copying text from other books and then putting it in there. Lots of games have some version of animal empathy. Lots of games have some version of eidetic memory. Um, things like that. Merits in the World of Darkness. There's a merit called eidetic memory. In Mutants and Masterminds, there's an advantage called eidetic memory. This type of thing comes up in multiple systems. So none of the stuff that I'm really doing here when I'm looking over these games is, taking anything that isn't available to borrow. And I'm not borrowing their rules because I'm not using the same rule set as they are anyway. But what I am doing is looking at it and saying, hey, this is a function that seems to really suit that game, but it also seems like it would really suit the Tall Tales game, and so I'm gonna see how I can work that function in, as an augment. So I might get to those tonight, but if I do, I'll probably be looking at a bunch of other books. I'll probably be pulling books from my shelf back here and look through them for some inspiration. Oh, be down there. All right. Just setting up for that. Okay. Anyway, if I do that, I'll be grabbing books from back there and look through them a little bit, which will be, I'm sure, no less exciting than last episode where I spent like an hour just rolling dice. Speaking of, bam! I do have my table up here. So this is the table that I'm using to kind of work out balancing issues within the game, because the thing is, I saw a video recently where someone was talking about this, and I thought they made a really good point. That balance in the system is important, but not in the way that you tend to think of. So, like, we tend to think that the whole system needs to be balanced in a big way. Like, everything has to be even across the board. And that's not strictly true. What stands out to players is if there's imbalance within the party. And so I'm working out, okay, here's kind of all the player character options. How do I make it so that if someone has access to much more powerful magic, that you just don't have every player playing that nature? How do I make all of them be worthwhile? Feel like something that is good to do. So this is the chart where I'm working that out. And if you are interested, if you're curious about what happened last episode, that is what happened last episode. We worked out which method of rolling traits was going to work better. Basically, that's what happened. Yeah. I still have a lot of thoughts about this because, like, the reason I designed the weighted system that I did was specifically to get this result. Was that more often than not you would be average, or most of your stats would be average or below average. But I didn't like how strongly it went in that direction. Is what happened last episode. Basically, I felt like it was unlikely that people were going to enjoy playing that. So I made the full D10. Switched to a full D10 system, but I have included the weighted system in as I like how it's almost perfectly. Put the weighted system in so that as an optional rule, so that people can still do that if they want more challenge or more realism. But anyway, this is the table that I'm using to kind of work out the balancing issues within the playable races. As you can see, there's a lot of work, a lot of fields that are empty. So I'm still working them out. And I'm still changing this. So one thing that I'm changing is this. Initial specialties. So when I wrote this down, I was thinking, okay, I considered the possibility that they'll get, like, okay, you'll get 10 specialties, and you can roll a d6 in each of them. And or 8 specialties or 6 specialties, depending on your story. And you can roll a d6 in each of them, and that's what you get. But I've considered changing that up to a system where you just roll a pool. Might change these numbers, but we just roll a pool of points. Okay, I'm gonna roll 3d6, 5d6, or whatever, and then add intelligence ranks to that total, and that's how many points you have, and you can kind of spread them out how you want. Because not everybody, I think it makes sense to say that not everybody gets the same number of skills. Like when you start a game, it's not okay. Well, everyone, every human has 10 specialties. Every, what is it? Empath has 8 or whatever. I don't think that that's a really sensible way to create the balance. And so, what I've been working on is this, where it's just going to be a dice pool plus intelligence ranks that gets you a total number, and then you put those in as many or as few specialties as you want, minimum 3 specialties, just so you have some variety. I might make it 5. I might increase these numbers and make it minimum 5. We'll see. But that's not what I'm focusing on right now. What I'm focusing on right now is traits, right here. I figure out how to do order. Okay, so I figured out how to do order. So the problem that I was having was that, okay, so the traits that you get bonuses in should be things that make sense for the element that you're aligned with, and the stuff that you get minuses in should be stuff that goes against the element that you have affiliation with. So characters aligned with air get a +1 in cunning and agility because it's very, active in motion and in the moment. And a -1 in memory and conviction because air is not stagnant. It doesn't just stand still. It doesn't retain. But the difficulty that I was having were the more conceptual ones. So death, chaos, life, and order. The biggest one was order. So chaos I came up with where you get to, as a chaotic being, as a being who's infused with or aligned with chaotic magic energy, you get to change these up frequently. Your stats can change, and you get to reallocate, and that enables you to be more flexible and a bit more chaotic. But the problem was I didn't know what to do with order, because obviously once you set your stats, those are your stats, and then you have to level them up if you want to change them. And what I basically decided was that if you're aligned with order, especially if you're infused with order, it is very difficult. You're resistant to change, is what I should say. Is you are, by being aligned with order as an element of nature, you are inclined to be resistant to change. So, what I'm going to do here, aligned with order and energy, get two +1s and two -1s. They can assign to any traits as long as no traits get any 2 of those modifiers. All right. How is this different from chaos? Here's how. Oh no, this is how. Okay, so you get more out of it. So you get more out of it at creation. So when you're establishing your character creation, you get more points. So your character starts off stronger. However, yeah, okay. However, because you're resistant to change, So they get stronger stats right off the bat, but they pay for it by having a harder time changing those traits later. So if they want to, okay, well, you have these bonus things, you get more traits that you can increase at character creation, but that's because later on, remember that this is so on the balancing sheet here, I've been working on trait cost. As you can see, it's all times 4 times 5. What that is current. So if you have 6 ranks in a thing, and you are human, let's say, that has chosen. Let's not do human. Changeling. Let's say you're a changeling, and you're aligned with order, and you have 6 ranks in strength, and you want to increase strength. Normally, it would cost you 24 points to increase strength to level 7. If you are aligned, well, changelings are infused. Yeah, changelings are infused. So it's going to cost times 8. So it's going to cost 48. 48 points to go from level 6 to from rank 6 to rank 7 in that trait. They're very resistant to it. Whereas cryptids are aligned. They're not infused. So for them, if they want to go from rank 6 to rank 7, normally it would be 30. It would be 30 points to go up. In this case, it's actually going to be 42. Yeah. So it's a little bit cheaper because they're infused. But only a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So that becomes a times 7 rather than times 5. Whereas here, it becomes times 8 rather than times 4. So yeah, that's how I've made the order one make sense. Is that they are resistant to change of their fundamental traits. Because they're order. They're very rigid, they're very structured. But it kind of doesn't matter what traits they apply that to. The point of order is not to increase specific traits, but to make the traits less malleable. Just like how chaos, the element of chaos, is less about increasing specific traits as about the ability to fluctuate and change those traits. Um, is the 4 plus 1s and 2 minus 1s enough to make that work? Is that enough to make it so that when people are playing the game and they're looking at the different elements and they're deciding what element the character can be associated with, are they going to look at order and say, "Oh, that's too much"? If they're actually playing order, if they decide to risk it, are they going to decide while playing it that it's too much of a trade-off? That those extra 2 plus 2s or extra 2 plus 1s just are not worth that. And I don't know what to do about that because, like, I don't want to increase it too much more. I don't want to make it pay off too much more at the beginning because then it just sounds too powerful, even if it isn't. You know, even if you do the math on it and it works out that, like, yeah, that's probably about even. Like, that's probably about even with everything else. If it looks like it's way too much of a benefit, people are just gonna go for it, and then you're gonna have to like make videos or something to explain to people that it's not actually that good. And no one's. Is it something where this is the tricky part? Is finding that line where people, the difference between what is actually balanced and what feels balanced. Sometimes it's really obvious, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes they're very similar, and sometimes they're not. What is actually balanced and what feels balanced. Oh, I see. I was counting introductions to chapter. See, anyway, that's all got to be fixed in editing. I'm not doing that right now. What's left is fire, life, and water. So, where is my? Here. That open. I need this. Okay. Oh man. Okay, so this is I don't have the character sheet open right now. I just have the elemental wheel. That's fine. That's fine. No one cares. I don't know why I have so much dead space. Okay. Anyway. So air, chaos over here. Death is orderly section. You know, actually, I found the chart that I had made originally. See, I thought I had just written it down somewhere, but I didn't. I actually made a chart of it. Now I gotta find it again. Hold on a second. Because I originally envisioned them in a different order on the wheel. I originally envisioned the wheel being in a different order, and made notes based on it. Here it is. Okay. I'm just gonna copy this into LibreOffice. Make a new sheet. Rather than adding a whole new input. Oh, jeez. Lost all the formatting. And Paste special. I don't know what this means. Nope, I didn't do it. All right, fine. Oh, not that. I want to do that. Guess I just add this. Drive. Go. Okay. We're gonna put this here. Make this appropriately sized. Okay. Anyway, so I think so. Align means touching. Here is what that originally meant. Okay. So those originally meant that. So if I come. So over here, order is touching earth and water. But over here, in the old one, order is touching earth and death. Well, then what's water touching? Water is touching earth and life. So, hold on. So order earth over here would be death. But that means earth is opposite air. Oh. Hold on. Okay. Okay. I think I need to draw this out. I need to draw this out. Okay. So, how I had originally designed it was with the table, and not with this. So I don't know because it wasn't visualized. I don't know if it made any sense. Where's change canvas size? There it is. Okay, we're just gonna increase. We're gonna double this. No, did that wrong. From here, height 13. Okay. View. Fit to screen. See. Roll. Okay, so how did I have it arranged originally? I'm just gonna. Use it. Okay. Myself right now. Black text. Okay, so let's start here. Order. That's tiny. What? Okay. Order. That. That's gonna automatically do it. Okay. Now, what is next to order? Next to order is Earth and Death. And then I'll see which order I like better. Which layout I like better. Okay. What's next to death? Fire and order. Okay. Okay. Coming along, coming along. What's next to fire? Oh. Air and death. Okay, so yeah, I have elements next to each other. Well, so yeah, that pairs. This is chaos, right? This is life. This is water. Okay. And then so it's order opposed to chaos. And so on this chart, I'm gonna zoom in here. Just for your benefit. Okay. On this chart here, why is it still doing that? Why is it not? No. It's still highlighted. I don't know why it's still highlighted. I don't want it to be still highlighted. Anyway, so on here, they're opposed to 2, they're aligned to 2, they're neutral to 3. Oh, you know why? Because I was using a different system before for the magic. Okay, so I forgot. So when I originally came up with the idea for this system, the specialties used the system that I'm currently using in the system. However, the magic used a percentage die system, which is completely unrelated. And in the very first episode, I think, in streaming this, I talked about the fact that I wanted it to all be one system so that it made sense together. And so there was a certain bonus, increase or decrease to percentage based on whether it was aligned or opposed or neutral. And you just couldn't do opposed ones. Like if you were aligned with order, you just could not cast air or chaos magic. But earth and death were easier to cast, and then fire, water, and life were, it really, you just didn't get any benefits or minuses. Maybe opposed you could do, but it had a really high minus. I don't remember. But I'm not doing that system anymore, and so this doesn't make sense. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and hide that. We don't need it anymore. We have the design. That's the only thing we need from it. The wheel. So, the question is, which wheel is better? Because what I did on the bottom one is I was just thinking of them as, because they're paired up in different ways, like the conceptual versus the, I guess, natural. We call them elements. The natural elements being earth, water, air, and fire. The conceptual elements being order, death, life, and chaos. The original idea had them grouped together like this, like the bottom chart. The new one that I designed when I couldn't find that one has them alternating. So it goes conceptual, natural, conceptual, natural, conceptual, natural, the whole way around. And there are things I like about it. Like having life right next to chaos, I think makes a lot of sense. But having air and fire next to chaos makes a lot of sense. You see it? Yeah. One of the things that the original system benefited from was I didn't have to put water next to order. But one of the ways that is that life is next to having life next to air and water seems pretty sensible. I don't know. Oh god. But this is going to be important because like this is going to define. Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to do a thing. I'm going to have to do a thing. I need to do polls on here. What do I got? I think I'm going to do a poll on Tumblr. I don't even know if you can do polls on Twitter. Can you do polls on Twitter? I don't even know. I left Twitter because I was sick of Elon Musk and his crap at one point. And then I went back specifically to make a Rabbit Haberdashery Twitter account. For, marketing purposes. Dang, cat's trying to get it. It is Eclipse. Hello, Eclipse. You looking for fortune and fame? You can fit through that space. Doesn't believe she can fit through that space. Temporarily giving up. We'll see if that changes. Anyway, I left Twitter. I joined Twitter again as Rabbit Haberdashery for advertising purposes, and then I ended up not doing any of those advertising purposes, marketing purposes, and so I don't know if it's worth it to stay there. Hello, Eclipse. Say hi to stream. You want to know you're just gonna show them your butt. Cool. Cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in two places. I'm going to do it in the Rabbit Haberdashery Discord. So if you want, join the Discord, hang out, and you can go ahead and... Oh, jeez, okay. I'm going to export this. That's the tail. That's the tail in my eyes. Why are you like this? Okay. Do that. I'm gonna go here. Oh wait, I have to look at this screen because it keeps sending this dialog box over there. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go onto Tumblr. If you're a Tumblr person, you can find me there. If you want. And you can take the you can take the quiz there. Okay. I am trying to. I can't do that. You're on public. You're a very large cat. And I wouldn't mind if you would sit on my lap. Like if you would just sit on my lap. I'd be happy with that. and get your scritches now and then, that would be fine. It's the shoulders. It's the shoulders that creates the problem. Okay. Ask question. Which says duration of 1 week. That's the dice on the bottom. That explains to people. This is for the call. G magic. Okay, so tags. Okay, so there. So now that it is posted on my Tumblr, and if you want to go vote, if you're a Tumblr person, go ahead and go to that. Oh, I should have made a link. Whatever. That's my username on Tumblr. Go find me. It'll be posted there. I will also post it into the Discord right meow. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I need emote. There. Okay. So now that is shared in the Discord, and it is shared as an active poll on my Tumblr. And in a week, hopefully next Tuesday, I will try to stream again. And when that happens, I will let you know the results. Anyway. I'll have to schedule that to post repeatedly throughout the week. Anyway, I need to focus on what I was doing. And this is not focusing on what I was doing. What was I doing? Oh, so. I'm gonna hide. I'm gonna leave that be for now. I don't even remember why I was doing it. Fire. Alright, so what characters aligned with fire energy get a +1 in presents? I like presents for this. You know, just very. You know, they have that certain je ne sais quoi, which is, in this case, fire. And agility? Moving around. But a bunch of them are moving around. And fire. Oh, God. Okay. See, this is why I need to decide this, because water's either right next to order, or it's 2 spots away from order, next to life. It's already next to life. It's halfway between order and chaos. It's either halfway to order and chaos, or it's right next to order. Polls up. The poll is up. Poll is up. Characters line with fire get in. You know, fire. Okay, here's what it is. Fire isn't great at moving around. Fire is pretty good at messing with its environment. It moves around, but it just kind of follows. It's food. It doesn't move like it wobbles, but it doesn't move like that as following where it's being pushed. So I'm gonna say dexterity. No, that's too. That's precise. Fire isn't known for its precision. Presence and cunning. There we go. And nice one in endurance. And Life. Characters aligned with death and life energy get a +1 in thinking dexterity and either charisma or manipulation. Looking at the descriptions. Look at the descriptions right there. Right down there. Thinking either charisma or manipulation. You can see why, maybe you understand. Because of also, fun fact, I'm getting my therapist sent me for some pre-screening stuff, and it was suggested that I might have the autism, maybe, possibly. We gotta follow up on that. But I feel like there are things about me and the way that I view these. So I might be viewing these connections in ways that do not make sense to other people, and it's possible that if I'm doing that, that the reason I'm doing that is the tism. And if that is the case, I apologize. And I would encourage you to go into the comments if you're on YouTube, or the chat if you're on Twitch, or the Discord if you want to talk to me directly. And tell me if none of this makes sense. And I can revisit it. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and say dexterity and yeah, charisma. And a -1 in conviction. Characters infused with life energy, which is going to be. People are going to argue, that's never would have feel life energy. You know what I mean? It'll make sense when you read the rest of the book. Water. Okay. Water. Physics teacher. Hot water. Okay. Characters aligned with water energy get a +1 in water. Dexterity and manipulation. Yeah. I like where this is going. -1 in Huh. Yeah, this is. I'm thinking about a different problem. A little bit. I need to be thinking about the problem right now. Not the one that I just did right after the sentence. So, manipulation at a -1 in. What's the awareness? It's kind of going with the feel of it, you know. It feels like something that someone who's a water elemental is gonna struggle with. You know what? I'm gonna change that. Okay, here comes the tricky part. Basically, the problem is there are two problems that come up. Two problems. One should be ones or twos. Like a line gets the ones, fuse gets the twos. Should on a line get one and two. But two, this is tricky. This is the tricky part. If a mage, if you create a character who's a mage, and add the character creation, or let's say you create a character who's not a mage, you create a human person, dude, normal guy type of thing. All right, you create a human person. Doesn't have any magic. Okay. They are unaligned because humans are non-elemental. If they become a mage, they have to declare an element. Like they have to, at that point, because it's relevant to other rules that I'll get to later. At that point, they have to declare an element. This is the element that they are focusing on for their magic. Okay. Do they then become aligned? Like, do we think of them as aligned? And if so, do they lose the traits that they're getting here and get the traits of their element? I'm inclined. I was, about 3 hours ago, inclined to say yes. That they scrap their original pluses and minuses and replace them with the pluses and minuses of being aligned with an element. However, now that I'm looking at it, now I'm thinking about it, I think maybe they don't. Maybe they. But if they become infused, Because they can change into a changeling. If they get confused, then they should. Oh, God. Okay. You know what? Changeling is a special case. I'm not going to build a system around that. Like, it's a special case. I can just figure out what the rule is going to be with that and write it into the changeling entry. What I need to figure out right now is the rule for every other use case, and that is going to be that they do not change their stats. So that I can get away with giving them +2s, -2s, and not asking people that they have to track it. Okay. Characters that do not have a natural connection to any elemental energy yet. Uh, phrase it the same way. 2 +2s and 2 -2s that they can assign to any traits as long as no trait gets any 2 of these modifiers. There we go. There's your humans, your ghosts, your empaths, your anchors, your warlocks. Unaligned. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Characters that do not have a natural connection to any elemental energy can choose the infused they can just choose the same. Like if they say, okay, I'm just going to choose the same set as what Earth gets. They can just do that. That doesn't be written out as a special rule. Okay. There's elemental energies. So traits, character creation, are finally finished. Yes. Okay. So I have time to work on augments if I want. You know what? I'd love to, but I do have a meeting very early in the morning. So okay. Next video. I might do one in between, but I'm definitely going to try to do one in 1 week so that we can see the results of the polls and discuss those. And go. Okay. Sorry, an issue came up. Okay. Anyway, so in 1 week, we will review the magic system, the elements, the arrangement of the elements on the wheel in the magic system. In the meantime, I might do another stream, but I think next stream, one of the big things I'm going to try to tackle is the augments. I got to write out a whole bunch of stuff here. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I have to write that I'm just not that concerned with it yet. Like, I have to write out more description of the traits here, which is, I don't know if I'm going to do on stream or not, because it's just kind of like text of the book. Get the feeling, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Oh god, equipment. I need to write the magic system. I haven't written the magic system yet. I know what it's going to be, but I haven't written it yet. So next video is going to be focusing on either augments or magic. We will decide then. Okay? Okay. All right. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget that we're very big here on raising money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So you can follow their link to find our team page and donate to the hospital of your choice that someone in our team is raising for, or to join Extra Life and raise for the hospital near you. Also, check out information about the Hungry Dark, which is going to be our fundraiser, 24-hour fundraiser live stream event this November. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.